I do feel like it helps to rejuvenate my skin just a little bit. Maybe it's all in my head, but
No, it's not. Here's how it works. So, if you get a cut and you spray it on your cut long enough for a few times during the day, the cut actually closes up because the skin grows faster.
the last time I had Bill on my podcast, we were deleted from YouTube within about 15 minutes of posting it. So I thought I would bring him back for another episode to talk a little bit more about some of the things that he offers and do our best to not get deleted within the first 15 minutes. So I'm going to post in the show notes the last episode that we did on audio only. If you want to go listen to that, we talked quite a bit about hypochlorous acid, the health benefits, how this is made endogenously in the body, and how it could even prevent Alzheimer's. And today I wanted to dive a little bit deeper into that and talk about some more benefits that we have personally seen from this in our own family. So I hope that you will enjoy today's episode and make sure to use Sarah K on his website if you're interested in checking out any of the things that we talk about today. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the podcast. Today, I have Bill on, who is a returning guest, and we're going to try to be more careful on this episode so we don't get deleted off of YouTube like we did with it deleted off of YouTube within 15 minutes of posting. So we'll be a little more careful on this one. But Bill, thank you so much for coming back onto the podcast.
You're welcome. Pleasure to be here.
Yeah. So where do we want to start with this? I have been buying your products since the last time you were on. Super impressed. Like you just said, oh yeah, your company said Sarah's been a customer. So I've been buying. Obviously, the saline nasal spray is something that I feel like is completely necessary for both kids. I do it, during allergy season, before and after school. I've been buying the facial lotion, the stem cell cream, and then I'm buying the Nattokinase. Like I'm loving all of your stuff. The spray, do the skin spray on my daughter, especially with like face breakouts. Her upper back sometimes breaks out, and I spray that stuff on, completely wipes it out. So good quality stuff. I can definitely vouch for it. And if anyone wants to try it out, my code is Sarah K. It'll be down in the show notes. But where do we want to start today? I know there's so many products on the market like yours.
Yeah, well, where we can start off, we make everything right here in Clearwater, Florida, and from scratch, from all natural ingredients that are U.S. sourced, mostly from the Pacific Northwest, except for the hypochlorous. We make that right here. And the last time we were on, we talked a little bit about, a lot about hypochlorous and what it does, and we won't go into too much of that anymore. Most people can look online and find exactly what it does and get blown away because it brought me out of retirement after I sold my engineering company.
Yeah.
Just to do this. Now I've been in this for 9 years, and we started in it in 2016. But prior to that, we have a Dr. Jeff Williams who worked for about 3 years to figure out how to stabilize it without using any chemicals. So we were the first people to offer this in this space back in 2016. And I know we were talking a little bit about it before, but there's so many brands popping up now where we were the only one at one time. But I started doing some deep dives into some of these brands, and we talked about me. I went to a place where they were a manufacturer. They were trying to get our business. I don't need them, but I decided to go and talk to them a little bit. And just to give you kind of an idea about what's out there is these guys were supplying, they said 70,000 bottles a year right now. And where they're going, I don't know, both in private label and things like that. And I looked at their electrolyzers, and they're just regular. They're not the same kind that we use. And they have, I asked them about their pH because I just wanted to see what type of product they were making. And they were saying that they try to keep it at 7. And if you know anything about hypochlorous, it doesn't work at 7. It only works at between 5.5 and 6. So right off the bat, they're selling product that doesn't work. And I asked them how long does theirs last, because we worked really hard to get the stabilizing process so that we would keep it stable for 2 years on the skin spray, as long as you keep it out of the sun. And the EPA gave us 5 years on the disinfectant. These people said, well, people don't use the product any more than 30 to 60 days, so ours will last that long. right? So it'll, if you keep it, if you forget to use it, it's going to go bad 30 to 60 days, where ours will stay good for 2 years. And they
Mm,
use a lot of chemicals inside there to try to manipulate the pH a little bit, but which is vinegar, and you don't want to put that on your face and skin.
mm-mm,
So
mm-mm.
now there are some applications for unstabilized process. For instance, there's a seafood company in Tampa that makes it and sprays it at the same time on the seafood as they process the seafood for restaurants, and it kills all the bacteria on the seafood and allows it not to, because the FDA now allows us to spray it on seafood, meats, vegetables, and fruits as a non-rinse antimicrobial.
Ah,
It's that safe. I mean, it's funny because it's 80 times the killing power of bleach, but it's non-toxic. So you could, even if you drank it, you wouldn't have to go to the doctor.
oh, wow.
So
That's
it's
good to
pretty
know.
safe. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so yeah, so there's a lot of brands out there, and they're selling bad product, and mostly because they just don't know the process. It took 3 years for our staff to get the process correct, and we're not telling
Mm,
anybody.
right. So essentially, there's a lot of knockoff hypochlorous acid products because I've seen them and they might be good for 30 to 60 days. Is that what you're saying? Or they might not even be any good at all?
Well, I know this. There's one company that says that they put hypochlorous in all of their skincare products.
Mm,
Well, if you know anything about hypochlorous, it's an oxidizer. So the minute it touches anything other than hypochlorous, when it touches your virus or or anything like that, or any product that's organic or non-organic, it just goes back to salt water. So it's absolutely useless to put it into anything.
okay.
And a lot of people are buying it, you know.
Yeah.
So
Oh, yeah. It's gotten to be very popular. I've seen it online quite a bit. So that's why I thought it'd be interesting to bring you back on because I think more and more people are starting to talk about it. We're in a little bit of a lull right now. It's summertime as we're recording this, but people going back to school, kids going back to school, people starting to, you know, get more sick for
mhm.
various reasons. Like I said, I've been using this more preventatively for my kids. Um, and I feel like it really does make a big difference. And myself too, things around, I feel like it really does make a big difference. And we make this endogenously as well, correct?
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
it's not like we're just putting something that is foreign to the body inside of the body, right?
No, it's inside the body. It's made in the white blood cells and in the brain cells and the neutrophils, and it's there to cure cuts, burns, healing, get rid of viruses and colds and things like that. So it's made the same way. It's no different, except it's weaker in the body than we make it.
Okay. Weren't you guys doing some sort of an Alzheimer's study when am I
Yeah,
recalling that
we're
correctly?
we're selling about 8,500 nasal sprays per month. I mean, per year now, right now. Everybody loves the nasal spray.
I love the nasal spray.
Yeah, it's really good. And we have two doctors. One that's works in-house. He's a PhD microbiologist, and then there's Dr. Jeff, he's just my good friend. And they were both working on this at the same time, one in Florida, one in Seattle. And we had this theory that they can now detect when hypochlorous is made in the human brain.
Hmm.
They couldn't do that before, and they pretty much believe it's a biomarker because it only gets made when you need it, like if you
Mm,
have a virus or something like that. And they're thinking that the prion cells that cause Alzheimer's disease are what's triggering the production of hypochlorous in the brain. And because they're trying to kill something that they're too weak to kill or correct. So and when he called Dr. Jeff and gave him his thesis, Dr. Jeff goes, "Oh my God, it's unbelievable. That's exactly what we're looking for, except we're using hypochlorous and a chlorotaurine, which is a close member together." And so we're thinking that maybe through the nasal passage is where you get to your brain. That if you get the strength right or the concentration correct, that you can use it as a preventative measure. Nothing's going to turn it back if you already have
right.
it, but it could slow it down. It could correct it before you get it. We don't know this for a fact, but all the evidence points to it. So that's one of the places we're studying right now.
Interesting. And is there a harm in someone putting this in their body? since they make it endogenously for specific reasons inside the body it's made, is there a harm for someone to put it in their body when there's not a specific reason to have it there, just as a preventative measure? Or like you said, people, if you drink it, it's not necessarily dangerous, but maybe we could break that down a little bit more for the skeptical people.
Yeah. Well, it's just all it is it's dead sea salt mixed with purified water. So there's nothing
Mm,
toxic about it.
okay.
Um, as far as it doesn't do any good I mean, a lot of people use it for mouthwash,
Mm,
but any mouthwash, you don't want to use it that much, no matter what kind of mouthwash it is, because
right.
nitric acid oxide is made in the mouth, and that could deter that. Um, but once it gets into your mouth, it doesn't go very far because there's a lot of bacteria in your mouth. So it does what it has to do and turns back into salt water. So it doesn't reach inside your body for any reason. There's no reason to use it inside. But
Got
if you
it.
do, now we found out that the way I found out about the for a little while, we had some problems with the nasal spray in that we were making it just a little too strong. And sometimes
Mm.
it burns and sometimes it doesn't. And then one day I was driving down the road and I did just got off an airplane. I was getting in my rental car and, oh my God, it felt like my head was going to explode. Not in my nasal passage, but inside my skull. I had to pull over for about 2 minutes.
Oh, wow.
And I said, "Oh, I see what they're talking about now." So we had to go in and we re-engineered it. We had to add about 8.8% more salt,
Mm.
and we had to bring the ppm down a little bit to 10, and now it's fine. So, but that's the only. So that's how I found out that a way to get to your brain is through the nasal passage. Some
Interesting.
prescriptions actually they use through the nasal passage.
You might have noticed a lot of viral posts about methylene blue lately on the internet, and there's a lot of fear that you could potentially turn your brain blue and cause toxicity issues. But what those articles aren't telling you is that those doses were 100 times higher or more than the standard dose. Now, I have actually been using methylene blue personally and have several clients that also use it. And when I choose my methylene blue, I choose Troscriptions because it is a physician led company. They actually had 4 physicians that have used their real world clinical experience to develop extremely effective health optimization solutions. It's pharmaceutical grade quality because Troscription sources high quality ingredients globally, subjecting each to rigorous testing to ensure unparalleled purity and potency. It's easy to dose. These buccal troches are actually scored so you can divide them down into a tiny little dose to try it out. I use it for mitochondrial optimization when I've had a night of poor sleep or if I am flying. If you want to try out the brand that I use and trust, go to troscriptions.com/Sarah K for 10% off of your first order. That's TROSCRIPTIONS.com/Sarah K for 10% off of your first order. I'll be honest, this last year, I've definitely noticed some signs of aging as I am 46 in June, and I'm always looking for natural, holistic ways to support my body. I've been a big fan of red light therapy for many years now, and recently started using the Bon Charge face mask to help my body produce its own collagen. Now, here's the thing that differentiates Bon Charge face mask from the rest of the ones on the market. It has specific wavelengths that are actually meant to target the skin and collagen production. It has been shown to reduce fine lines and wrinkles, and it is low EMF. So it's very safe to use. When you're actually going to have a device on your head, you want to make sure it is the lowest EMF possible. I have tested this with my own EMF meter and believe it is safe and recommend it to clients. So if you're interested in checking out the Bon Charge face mask, I have a special discount for podcast listeners. You can go to boncharge.com and use the code Sarah Kleiner, all one word, for 15% off site wide. I really love the Bon Charge red light face mask. And if you're looking for more natural ways to support your body in this age and stage of life, I recommend checking it out. Go to boncharge.com and use the code Sarah Kleiner, all one word, to save 15%. Oh yeah, definitely. We're doing a peptide right now with my daughter that's injected nasally, and that's because it gets to the brain that much quicker. So
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, so
Definitely.
who knows what it's going to bring for the future? But a lot of people are interested because my demographic, we have a lot of people that either have somebody that has that declining or full blown. Unfortunately, you can't do anything once you get over
Full
that
blown.
certain point. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely a topic that I've talked about on other podcasts. I think there's so much to it. I definitely think it's a metabolic disorder, so that has to be addressed early on.
sugar and carbohydrates,
Mhm. Yeah,
and
absolutely.
sugar is as addicting as alcohol.
Yeah, it is. I mean, you see people that quit drinking and then they gain 30, 40 pounds. That's what I did when I quit drinking. I just
Me
gained a
too.
massive amount of weight because I went straight to the
Ice
sugar.
cream.
Yeah. They say,
Yeah,
well, you're not going to get pulled over for being fat, but you will for being drunk. So,
yeah, yeah.
you
Yeah,
know,
after you get to a certain age, the drinking part gets like unbearable in the morning, and even if you had
yeah.
2 glasses of wine, it would affect me. So I've been
Oh,
off
yeah.
for 2 years and 1 month.
Nice. Very nice. Yeah. I mean, I've been off for 9 years now. Um, but I wasn't good at it. I wasn't good at drinking. And I know my sisters are still drinking and they have horrible hangovers. I'm like, yep,
Yeah.
I'll let y'all.
Are they older?
They're younger than me. I'm the oldest of three. So
See, it never bothered me, but
oh
then all of a sudden I got into my 60s and it started getting. Then now I'm getting to my 70s. It was really bad, or getting close to my 70s anyway.
yeah,
So I just don't enjoy it anymore.
yeah, yeah. It got to be destructive in my life. So I stopped doing it. But I know that a lot of women, when they get to this age, in their 40s, it's that the hangovers are just so much worse. So
Yeah,
it's just not
and it
really
only
worth
gets worse.
Yeah. Yeah. Best to
So
just leave.
yeah, a lot of the other brands too. Remember, we got the food spray. Well, we have the biggest product line. We got the food spray, which is
Hmm.
an FDA product. We got the disinfectants, which are EPA. We have EPA number. One of the great things we're working on right now, we're working with the Lieutenant Governor of Indiana and uh, the Surgeon General of Florida, because we're going to introduce non-toxic hypochlorous disinfectants into the classrooms.
Mm.
And one of the biggest problems that they have in classrooms and also cruise ships like that is norovirus.
Hmm.
And to give you an idea, if you were to use bleach to get norovirus, you'd have to use 5,000 ppm. And that's really strong because most bleaches are
Yeah.
less than 100. And
Ooh.
so you'd have to get really heavy bleach. Hypochlorous kills norovirus at 170.
Oh, wow.
So it's so that should stop all the sicknesses coming home from school. I know my
Are you going to use them
grandson.
as like a fogger in the room, or how are you going to
Yeah,
use them in school? Okay.
you could have an automatic fogger in the rooms that would come on at 4 o'clock in the morning. In
Mm.
each classroom, it only takes 4 minutes.
Oh, nice.
And then there's automatic where you put your hands underneath the sprayer, and it detects your hands there and it sprays.
Nice.
Um, that kids can use that when they go into the classroom and get those hands nice and clean. So yeah, they're really interested in doing that. So that's going to take the company to a new level, actually.
Nice.
We got a capacity of 300,000 gallons a month if we had the opportunity.
Nice. Very cool. So this is something that people could use preventatively at home as well. I have to be careful about how I talk about this so we don't get again deleted.
Mm.
Um, I know a lot of people were talking about putting the devices that fog into the nose. If I can speak between the lines here
Yeah,
without actually using terms that will get us deleted, using a drop of what was being used is that starts with an H, peroxide. That was super popular. But I know that there are some pretty bad side effects that can happen with that people were reporting issues with lungs. Um, and doing this, maybe your product with the same kind of thing, if people can understand what I'm talking about, is a lot
yeah,
more of a
yeah. It
safer
works.
option, right?
It works well. Yeah, it works well.
Yeah.
And if you look at the MSDS sheet of H, you know,
Hmm.
that it causes respiratory problems if you use it long enough.
Right. And that's what was when you go through the threads on like Reddit or you Google it, there's going to be, of course, all the doctors showing you the protocols of how to do it that are in the natural holistic world, and people are really glorifying it. I kind of saw it and said, I don't know. I just had a weird feeling about it. But then you see the conventional people that are saying this can cause respiratory failure, lung problems, like it can actually damage your lungs.
Hmm.
I always say there's a little bit of truth. Like I'm always skeptical of everything, but I want to see what the mainstream says and say, is there any validity to that?
Yeah.
You know, so that is a thing that can actually happen if you're doing this, correct?
Yes. Yes. In
Yeah.
fact, my wife had, let's see, that thing that where you get water in your lungs.
Yeah.
Begins with a P.
I think we can say that one. Uh,
Pneumonia. Yeah.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
that was a 3-day process to stop it
Wow. Wow.
with the thing over your mouth.
Yeah. So what happened after we did our episode? My fun adventures in autism. Maybe I'll start a new social media platform called that one day because I could really write several books on it. But she had
Especially
this,
now.
huh?
Especially now, there's a lot more now than there ever was.
Well, yeah. I mean, she's like, yeah, there it's a big thing.
Mm.
We could talk for days about it. But she was having, I think we were talking about it, this sinus infection that just wouldn't go away. Like no matter what I did, it wouldn't go away. It wouldn't go. I was like, this is horrible. Green, gunky, awful stuff. And so we
Yeah.
started using your product, instead
Hmm.
of the alternative that we just talked about with the H
Hmm.
peroxide.
Yeah.
And she calmed down immediately. She was so much better. Well, turns out she had jammed plastic inside of her nose. And so it wasn't going to get better no matter what we did. We eventually had to go get a surgery to get it taken out. But what they told us when she got the surgery, they were like, we're shocked at how good this plastic actually looks. Because usually when there is a plastic that's been in someone's nose for this long, it's
Mm.
covered in like growths, essentially. It's just
Yeah.
disgusting. But they were like, this is really clean. What did you do to keep her nose so clean? I'm like, you don't want to know. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Yeah. It is really good. It helps a lot. I mean, I cannot sleep when my nose gets clogged
Oh,
up.
me neither. Me
I
neither.
can't sleep, and I go in the bathroom, just do 2 or 3 of those,
Hmm.
and it right away. I mean, instantaneously, it drains everything right out, and you're back sleeping. But it works. It works on a lot of. One of the things is the second thing is how impressive it is for the younger people for the breakouts.
Oh, for my daughter, huge because she's
Uh,
17 and she'll get the acne on her upper back and her
yeah.
forehead. And my
Hmm.
husband's like, get that spray stuff.
Yeah.
The skin spray is, I mean, I feel like it's like a eraser. It just gets rid of it because with
Yeah.
her, it's just her hair gets greasy and like she's a teenager. You try your best to
Hmm.
run after them and keep them clean. The,
Yeah, well, it's like the only thing they have out on the market is chemicals for people, right? And it
right.
causes a lot of irritation to the skin, redness and things like that. And
She's
this is
so
just super
sensitive. I
simple.
wouldn't
You
even
just
dare to
spray it on
try
your
that.
face, spray it on
Yeah.
your face, let it dry, do it for the first week, do it 8 or 10 times the first, and it's gone. Once it's gone, you just need to do a spray here and there, and you're just spraying salt water on your face, basically
Right.
with the
Right.
H, with hypo in it, of course.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's amazing how good it
Yeah.
works.
Yeah. And
I wouldn't be
I
doing it. It's
spray it on
not.
my face also. I feel like it's like helping my skin as well. I don't have breakouts, but I do feel like it helps to rejuvenate my skin just a little bit. Maybe it's all my head, but
No, it's not. Here's how it works. So if you get a cut and you spray it on your cut long enough for a few times during the day, the cut actually closes up because the skin grows faster. So what
ah,
happens is it's a slight acid, so it's at a pH of about 6.5. And when you spray it on, it exfoliates the old skin microscopically, and then it causes the new skin to grow better, and you start to feel your
oh,
skin getting softer
mhm.
within a week or so. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
people don't
All
believe
my people
I'm
are into the
71, but
anti-aging stuff. Yeah, exactly. So I feel like it, like I said, I feel like it rejuvenates the skin um without going crazy and buying all these like crazy serums. And you guys have like I said, I use your stem cell cream on my face, which I love. I've stocked up on that stuff. But yeah, you don't have to go buy all the crazy serums that everyone's doing. Just get some of the spray. If you've been around for a little bit, you know I'm not a huge fan of tracking every single biometric. I don't really like tracking devices. But here's the thing. I find a need in my client population, in my community, to occasionally check in and see, how is my body responding to stress? How is my body responding to food? What does it feel like to have elevated blood sugar? What does it feel like to have low blood sugar? That's why I'm really excited to have partnered with NutriSense to offer you a program that will give you 24/7 insights into your own blood glucose and how your body is actually responding to your environment and your food, so that you can make targeted adjustments. Now, with this plan, you'll also get one-to-one guidance from a glucose certified dietitian, structured habit tweaks to help you train your metabolism, continuous feedback loops so you can adjust your routine and understand how your lifestyle is impacting your body, progress tracking for meals, weight, and glucose, accountability for consistent results. Now, if you're interested in this, you can save 33% as a part of my community. You'll visit nutrisense.io/Sarah K. That's NUTRISENSE.io/Sarah K.
Yeah, what we're trying to do right now is our base product is hypochlorous, but we're turning into a wellness company. So we make a complete line of really good skincare products. They're all natural. They all do something, right?
Mhm.
And they're big sellers. It's 100% 5-star rating. I don't know how many companies get 100% 5-star, but we have one. And then we have we met a company about 5 years ago down in Venice, Florida, called Enzyme Science. So I went
Mm.
down and met with them, and it's the most beautiful laboratory you ever saw. I mean, it's 29 doctors working there on technologies that actually do something like nattokinase. You ever heard of that?
Oh yeah, I buy your Nattokinase. I love it. It's
I've
great.
taken it since I had a stroke 9 years ago, and I've been taking it that long, so I knew what it was.
Yeah.
And we have everything that we have. It's not like a vitamin or anything like that. These
Mhm.
are products that do something, you know. So we have
Yeah.
about 10 or 15 SKUs of that. And then we got a full pet line. The pet line is really good. Like I was telling you, Dr. Malone had a horse that had a infected eye, and they were going to have to take the eye out. And I
Mm.
have a lot of friends who have horses, so I know this to be true. If you do that, the horse sometimes will beat his head against the wall until he kills himself.
Oh my
And
gosh.
so Dr. Malone's got, I think he's got 20 stallions in
Oh
Virginia.
wow.
And
Wow.
so I said they were going to have to take the eye out. It was so infected. So I said, no, don't do that. Just spray this on there every day, 10, 15 times a day. And about 2 weeks later, it was gone. The infection was gone. And, it works on cuts really well, especially for animals. A lot of the horses will jump over a fence and they'll impale themselves on the fence. And you don't need stitches. You just spray it on there a lot of times for about 2 weeks and it's gone. You can't even see the scar.
Wow. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. So what else do you so just a spray for pets, or is there any other products for the pets?
Just the spray. Yeah, we make it a
Mhm.
little stronger. It's got to go through the
Fur.
fur, and so
Yeah.
yeah, they use it for pet beds. Smell like a lot of in the wintertime, people don't take their
Mhm.
dog out to dog or cat out in the winter, so they usually just spray the pet bed, and that kills all the bacteria, gets rid of the
Ah,
smell,
okay. I need to
heals all
start doing
kinds
that.
of funny wounds in their ears, in their eyes, eye infections, stuff like that.
Okay. Interesting. Cool. So we've got the skin spray, we've got the nasal spray, and again, this is something your body makes endogenously, so it's not going to be the same as some of the other things that we talked about that I have an issue, and I think we got pinged on YouTube for talking about this last time. The silver um, starts with
Yeah.
a C.
Hmm.
Everyone's so up on that, and I just have a bad feeling about it. I just don't. It doesn't resonate with me. I know some people are just so obsessed with it, but I've never felt like it was. a good thing.
It's a
Um,
metal.
right.
That's what I don't understand. I know it's good for what they say, but something about putting a metal, into your body doesn't.
In your
I don't-
nose, going up to your brain. Yeah,
yeah,
I'm not a fan of it.
no, I'm not either.
Somebody sent me a whole bunch of it and it just kind of sat. I was like, thank you. I appreciate that. But yeah, I just don't feel
Yeah,
right about it. I can't.
we're
Not
converting
to
them.
my kids, especially. I just don't feel right about it.
No, no. I think that it has something to do with cognitive problems too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
I watched this documentary with a good friend of mine where the woman, they were making it and they were selling it. And then she kept drinking it. And she eventually turned completely blue at the end of the documentary and she died. Um,
what was it she was thinking?
the silver, she was drinking
Oh,
it every day. They were making it and they were selling it and she was drinking it every day because they were convinced it would cure everything in the body and get rid of all the bad things. And she was like blue at the end. So,
well, one thing I'm learning a lot because of the people that are work for us and the people we have friendships with, is that there's just two things that really are the biggest problems that we go through today, and that is, well, three: processed foods,
mm-hmm,
carbohydrates, and sugar. If you can slow that down or stop it, the changes in your body. When I do that, it's hard for me to do it all the time because I still like ice cream. But when I go for 3 weeks of just no carbohydrates, no sugar, no alcohol, no nothing,
mm-hmm.
man, the difference in the way I feel is incredible.
Yeah.
They cause
Yeah.
a lot of problems.
Yeah. I mean, I think the inflammation is huge. And I think you kind of cycling off of it every now and then with the ice cream is like basically the way that I teach doing not to do ice cream, but necessarily, but to
Mm.
give your body a break from it every now and then so you don't become metabolically inflexible.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it's great for bringing inflammation down for sure. And most people are, I mean, we've got 93% of people are metabolically unhealthy. So I always say it's
Mhm.
like people have been living in a perpetual summer for years and years and years. Their body doesn't know what it's like to go into winter, to go into the mode of scarcity. So I think everyone could use a little bit of that training.
Well, it's also, they don't say it runs in your family like I don't think heart attacks do or cancer does. That it's a metabolic disease, cancer. If you
Right.
ever listen to the Dr. Seyfried from Boston College, who's a researcher
Mm-hmm.
there, he's cured two of my friends, and they both had
Mm.
bladder cancer and prostate cancer, and just put
Wow.
them on a solid, one of them said a solid keto diet for 4 months. And he's from Alabama, and he's, Bill, I can't even eat me a hot dog. I mean, they put it right. And so after 4 months, he was cancer free. And so when you go
Wow.
to the doctor and you find out that you have cancer, it
Mm-hmm.
scares the hell out of you, and they want to operate on you, right away. And they want to
Mm-hmm.
start all this chemotherapy and everything like that. And when Harold was done, he went to the doctor, and the doctor said, "Well, yeah, you're cancer free. They did all the tests, and he said you really should do some chemo just to make sure, right?" And my friend Harold says he gets up, walks over by the door, and he says, "Doc, I want you to see $1 million walking out your door." Because that's like if you get a heart attack, they want to take you in and cut you open right away.
Instant. Yeah.
There's other things you can do like niacin
Yeah.
to temporarily stop it while you maybe change your lifestyle a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
My brother had a heart attack, not a real bad one. I'm the youngest of the family, so this brother's 88 years old. He had a heart attack,
Oh, wow.
and they didn't give him 15 minutes. He was in the operating room. He
Mm-hmm.
drove himself to the hospital, and he had a
Wow.
triple bypass. And but it's like you have no time to think about it.
Mm-mm.
They got you so scared, right? That
Mm-hmm.
and I don't think that that's necessary all the time.
Yeah.
So, and what is the biggest problems? If you don't want to have a heart attack and you don't want to have these sicknesses, you got to start with your diet. It's the number
Yeah.
one thing,
Yeah.
and it's so hard.
It is hard. I was about to say that. I think that if it was easy, everyone would do it, but it
Yeah,
really does take a lot of conscious action and a lot of discipline to make the changes because we're bombarded constantly with messages around food everywhere. You walk out of your house, it's billboards, it's what's in your phone. It's just being fed to you nonstop of these different
Mm.
foods and temptations. And you really do have to change the programming that's coming in order to make it easier. Because a lot of people definitely still are in denial about the fact that food is such a huge driver of disease. I mean, yeah, I have family
Yeah.
members that are just like, yeah, the diet doesn't matter. I'm like, what? Really? Who told you that?
There's a syndrome. I call it the morning afternoon syndrome. In the
Hmm.
morning, okay, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to have any sugar today, blah, blah, blah. And then at 5 o'clock, you're like, oh, well, tomorrow I'll do that.
Yeah.
You know?
That was me with drinking. I called it Groundhog Day of like every day
Yeah,
you wake up and say, I'm not going to drink today. And then you're like, I will, I'll start
I'll do
tomorrow.
it tomorrow.
I'll start
Yeah,
tomorrow. And then you feel like crap. The next day you wake up feeling terrible and you're like, okay, today's the day. And then the day never comes because you just get trapped in this perpetual comfort zone.
mm.
Um, and that's what I had. A lot of people live that way.
The
It's
good thing
funny.
about
Oh,
the
go
good
ahead.
thing about hypochlorous is that let's see, how can I word this? So many of my clients, my customers, have told me, because we talk to our customers by phone. We're one of the only companies that do that. That's what drives our
Hmm.
5-star rating, is that they never get the anything. They never
Mm,
get anything. They don't get even the common cold,
interesting.
because it's just, my grandson was, anecdotal, I know, but he came home with 100, just 100 fever, a low grade fever, and a sore
Mm,
throat in the very back of his nose. And we did the nasal, and he cried a little bit because it burned, because it had the
mm,
infection was already there.
yeah.
And next day he went to school and he was fine.
Wow.
Like that afternoon, he was fine. He was out playing that afternoon.
Yeah.
So it's a big deal. I
Yeah.
wouldn't believe me. I would not be here had I not didn't believe in this so big so much, because when I saw this, I think I told you how I found it, right?
I think in the last episode.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just, when you find something in Florida and the next day unstable, and you find it in Seattle, Washington the day after that stable, somebody's telling you something.
Yeah,
You know?
exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly. Yeah, it's like it's meant to be. It really is. So, yeah, and I think the biggest thing is that people just don't know, like they think they're getting it and then they're like, "Oh, this doesn't even work." And it's
yeah,
because they're not actually getting a product that's stabilized. It probably is just saline, correct?
yeah. It's just saline, but the thing is that's why I wanted to talk to you about this, because it gives a bad name. I mean, I put
Hmm.
9 years into this, and I was the one that you know got in trouble. Put all this money into it. Nobody ever heard of it before. I mean, I remember the first 2 years, I was so excited if I got 8 sales a day. And now we're
Yeah.
we're we're really going. It gets better and better every day. So
Yeah. Yeah.
people are starting to
I think the
understand
more
it.
people that hear about it, especially my people, they're always looking for alternative ways because they found, like just common stuff that like illnesses that kids have. They've found that you don't always need to give them Tylenol right away. You don't always have to give them the medication right away. There's other natural things you can do. And then sometimes you do have to say, all right, well, there's a reason. That's where I differ from some of the holistic people is I'm like, yeah, sometimes there is a reason to give a
Yeah,
child a medication. Again, that's a hill I'll die on.
yeah,
But I try, I've never given my son Tylenol before. He's had several fevers. So we know what to look for and what to watch out for. So there are ways, and I think people are looking for that sort of information now because they see the other side of it. They see all the disease. They see that these medications and things can potentially be harmful.
mhm.
Um, so they are looking for alternatives like this.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Yeah,
Well, I appreciate you bringing me on. And if
yeah,
anybody has any kind of questions or anything like that, they can always call. We always answer the phone, even 7 days a week.
yeah, yeah. I know. You just are telling me you're on a boat with your son answering the phone.
Yeah, yeah. I was trying to get out of the wind because I didn't want to say where I was, but I was in the Florida Keys and we were having fun. it's one thing about the business is, I've had, this is my third business, and you just don't, you can't get away from it. You have to either do it
Yeah.
or you just don't do it at all. So,
Yeah. I know.
and so I know a lot of my customers personally,
Yeah.
so we build a lot of trust, and our products are good. So,
Yeah.
it sure beats, getting on the phone and having to push all the numbers and try to figure out a problem. All you got to do is call us. We fix problems just like that.
I love it. Yeah. And you've got tons of reviews on your website and lots of great educational information. I'll make sure to link that down in the show notes. But I think this will be a good back to school episode for people to just do a little review and take some preventative measures if they want to for
Mhm.
kids going back in those environments or kids bringing things home. It's definitely made a big difference with my kids. And it's something that, like I said, we used during allergy season this year. It was so much better than years previous. And then that lovely story about the plastic up my daughter's nose.
Yeah, I know
It's one
you're
of those
going
like you
to,
had to be there situations.
yeah, that's a hard job. I know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Just
I got a 41-year-old daughter and a 17-year-old son.
wow.
And I taught my son when he was, well, he flew with me. I had a little airplane. He flew with me since he was big. I'd put him in a plane, and buckle him up, and headphones were looked like that big. And,
Oh,
in May 15th, he just got his pilot's license.
oh wow.
So as soon
Amazing.
as he turned 17, he took his check ride with the FAA and got his pilot's license. So now, we can fly together. And I wanted a safety pilot because 9 years ago I was coming back from Hong Kong, not on my plane, but on a, and I had a blood clot and I had a stroke from it.
Oh.
And
Oh
luckily
wow.
I was right across, this is after I got off the plane, right across the street was a university stroke center. So I went in there, it was like 2 seconds. I was on the TPA, which is a clot buster, and I'm
Oh
fine. I have no problems there, but I didn't want to have something like that again. So
wow.
I haven't flown for a long time because I'm afraid, I'd be up there with somebody who doesn't know how to land the plane. That wouldn't be good.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you've got your nattokinase as well.
Well, that's nattokinase is just a miracle. I mean, it's a
Hmm.
miracle. And now
Hmm.
that we have this new fatty 15, have you heard of fatty 15?
No.
Do some research on fatty 15. It's absolutely we sell a lot of that.
What does
Fatty
it
15
do?
it came from and this is a Navy research. They were researching dolphins in Sarasota, Florida, and in California, and there
Mm.
was a reduction in fat in California. They got sick. Long story. You don't remember this, but when I was a kid, we used to get bottled milk in glass, and there would be cream would be
Mhm.
here, and the milk would be there, and you have to shake it. It was real
Yeah.
milk. We don't have that
Yep.
anymore. They
Yep.
took the C15, which is an essential fatty acid, out of your body. Nobody's been using it for 45 years, and it's
Uh,
one of the things that's causing all the health problems. And once they tested it, it was like 5, maybe 10 years of study. You just take one of these a day, it puts the C15 back in your body, and it is absolutely noticeable the way you feel.
okay. Well, now I'm gonna
And
have to order something else.
well, look into Fatty 15. They're a great company. The product
Okay.
is amazing. The story behind it is amazing. And dolphins get a lot of the same diseases we do.
Oh,
And that's where they found this. I think it was maybe 15 years ago, but they now they're out. They've been perfecting it for 10 years, and now it's a big seller. And people are calling me saying they can feel the difference.
do you guys sell it on your website?
Yeah,
Okay, great.
it's
Okay.
under the supplement section. Fatty 15.
Okay. Well, you're gonna
Good
see
name.
an order come through
Yeah.
from me.
Well, read the research on it first. I mean, before you go
Okay.
buy it, you can just go to Fatty 15. There's a lot of research. We sell it for the same price as they do. So,
Okay.
you just don't get any. In fact, when we have sales, like when they buy with your code, they'll get a discount on that.
Nice. Okay. All right. Well, I will report back on that. I can definitely vouch for the hypochlorous, the nasal spray, the skin spray, all of that, and the nattokinase that we've been using that
Mm.
just because we've done some testing on the family and seen my husband and my daughter both have like super elevated antibodies. So we're seeing if that helps among a few other things that we're doing. But I use the nattokinase probably a few days a week just to bump up the benefits of fasting.
Mhm.
when I do a longer overnight fast, I'll use that before bed and definitely feel a difference the next day for sure.
It's a fermented soybean. And where they found it is in Japan. They found that where the people, I don't know if they're called the blue areas or whatever, where people live
The blue
to like
zones.
105 and they never have heart attacks, they eat that.
Wow.
And so right now, our nattokinase is made right here in Florida, and it's
Interesting.
all natural. Yeah.
Well, I had a member in my community that her CAC score went down by like 100 points. And the only thing that she had been doing was the nattokinase before bed every night, like away from food. And her doctor was like, it must have been a mistake on the first test because we never see that. And she's like, mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, they don't learn nutrition and things like that.
Right. They don't. Yeah. I actually have a friend of mine who he completely cleared a plaque in his leg through sauna, nattokinase. I think he used serapeptase, completely cleared the plaque in his leg. And they were like, they didn't even ask him. They were just like, oh, okay. They don't care. Like, wouldn't you want to ask someone how they did? They don't care. Don't care.
Yeah. No, they don't because they don't. That's unfortunate. And
Yeah.
it's like it is unfortunate because there's so many things. If one of the most interesting guys I hold high regards because he cured two of my friends was that his name is Dr. Seyfried. It's spelled
Mhm. Oh yeah, you
Seyfried.
told me. Yeah. Yep.
Right. Yeah, he's Boston College. He's not a medical doctor. He's a
Yep.
PhD.
Yep.
He's so interesting. He's all over YouTube.
Yeah. Yeah. I had a guest on here for Dr. Seeger about
Mm.
cold therapy, and he was talking about him as well. And I know I've come across his work several times, so I probably need to get him on the show eventually.
Yeah, he'll come on. He's a really nice
Oh
man.
yeah.
He calls cancer a metabolic disease, and
Hmm.
he's it's all diet.
Yep. Yeah, I agree. It is.
So
All right. Well, this has been
thank you.
awesome. And I'll make sure to have all the links in the show notes. And my code Sarah K will work, I think, for the next year, you
Yeah,
said.
yeah.
So if you're listening to this after the fact, it should still work for a while. So amazing. Well, thank you for coming back on, and we'll talk about doing some stuff together in the future for sure.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate having me.
You're welcome. Thank you so much for listening to the Evolving Wellness Podcast. Just a quick little reminder, this is not medical advice nor meant to be taken as a substitute for working one-on-one with a healthcare practitioner. And if you enjoy the show, please head on over to Apple or Spotify to leave the show up to a 5-star review. If you're over on YouTube, please leave us a like, leave us a comment. I really appreciate you for being here, for listening to the show, and your support means the world to me as I continue to try to pull guests from around the world to bring you informative content to empower you to make decisions about your own health. Thank you so much for being here, and I look forward to seeing you again next week.